thing looks kind of like a stomach, doesn't it? You got the mouth right here, and they swallow whatever, it goes through here, and then something comes out the back end. We won't talk about that. But we put in the mouth, we put what they call the chanter. And a chanter is what makes the high-pitched sound that you hear when I play. And the chanter has a reed, as we were talking about, which is a little thing that you blow on, and it makes a high-pitched squeal or shriek or what have you. And the sound is channeled through here, and there's 9 holes here for your fingers. We have 10 fingers, so we have 1 left open, which is quite convenient. And what you try to do is you blow in here through the blow stick, you inflate the bag here, and you squeeze on it, and the sound comes out here, and it comes out here, and here, and here. So there's 4 places where the sound comes out, and you have to keep them all steady, which is very difficult. It takes 7 years to get it right, and so I'm barely there. I've been playing about 10, but you know. And so what you try to do is keep everything steady. And but enough talking, I'll play you some more tunes. The bagpipes were mainly used in the Scottish military to tell their enemies, hey, what coming to get you? So they had a pipe for they had a pipe tune for every occasion. They had a pipe tune to start walking, they had a pipe tune to stop walking, they had a pipe tune to go and get a drink, they had a pipe tune to say it's time for lunch, and a pipe tune for everything. So what I'm going to play for you now are what we call forward marches. And if you know anything about music, it's in 4/4 time, 4 beats per measure, and then they play them to get themselves riled up before they go into battle to scare their enemies. So it's, the first tune is called 20 Men from Dublin Town, and the second tune I believe is called The Rose of Annandale. Quite nice. lot of weaving back then. machinery, and that would cause lots of ugly accidents. And so they didn't want to have such accidents anymore, so they got the idea of just cutting the top half of it off and leaving the bottom half. So what you see me wearing is the modern day kilt, which is basically one half of the great kilt. People still wear them every now and then, you'll see them around, but most of the time you see them wear this. And this is also made of only 7 yards, but still, if you were to stretch it out, it'd be 21 feet long. It's heavy wool. And you may notice that kilts come in lots of different colors. Well, there is a very smart individual who knew how to make kilts in many, many colors. The legend goes